Their block so strong, their offensive attack so strong, and on the United States side, you saw Tayyiba Hanif have a great match with 11 kills and Nancy Metcalf with 11 kills. So the United States played very well, but Russia just played better.
Danielle Scott had a very nice match as well, but they just couldn't put it together. The 6'6" girls from Russia, just way too much. They played superbly, and that's why you see those total there. 3 sets to love.
So Russia, for sure, moving on to the semifinal. Now they're undefeated in the pool. They're also going to be joined with Brazil, so they have their work cut out for them. For the United States, possibly a 9th through 12th finish. We will be right back with more action for the 2006 Women's World Championships. This is WCSN.
And welcome back to WCSN. Randy Durgis alongside Dana Blanton. We have a little bit more volleyball-y fun for you coming up here as we look back at Thursday's night's action. Team USA versus Azerbaijan, and what a match this was.
This was an absolutely amazing match. The United States having some great volleyball action and coming back from some huge deficits. This game was back and forth here in the fourth set. The United States up against the wall, facing match point right now, and you see right there Danielle Scott putting the ball away.
And they were in a huge deficit at one point, I believe 23-17, and they come roaring back. Once again, match point, 24-21, Scott would serve. And once again, and there's Metcalf, and they get the point, and you can see it right there as it becomes 24-22. But again, it's one of those things that happened. They let themselves get way behind, and they dug a hole. The question was, on this night, would they be able to get out of it?
You saw the Russians thinking that they just won the match, and then the call goes against them, just out of bounds. Everything going the United States way. Right there, Metcalf with a stab. It's up in the middle, and a ball put away by Hanif, cutting the score 24-23. Like you said, Randy, earlier in this same set, it was 14-7 Azerbaijan, and then it was 21-14, if you can believe it, and the United States has crawled right back into it.
And this was going to be a very critical point right there, as Azerbaijan basically was choking a little bit. Now, I don't know which is more difficult to accept for Team USA. This, which is going to be an eventual loss after they scratch back, or the pounding they suffered from Team Russia.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You see the United States coming back here and just groveling in what looks to be an insurmountable lead by Azerbaijan. It just shows how United States' character is, how they can fight back, how they never give up. They just work so hard, down 24-20, and now they're down by only one. Azerbaijan having match point once again. The United States fighting back. There you see the ball just out of bounds. So everything is on the United States side. They want to take over. They do win this fourth set, if you can believe it. And then in the fifth set, it's a toss-up and another dogfight.
And we would like you to remind you that this is Thursday night coverage, Azerbaijan versus Team USA. And what an exciting match, which turned out to be a heartbreaker as USA goes up 26-25 and does take this fourth set.
You can't say enough about Mamadova on Azerbaijan. She has absolutely dominated throughout this whole match. She is the go-to player on the Azerbaijan's team. As you see, once again, they go after her again, but the United States has completely honed up on them. There you see it, the United States coming back from a 24-20 lead and beating Azerbaijan 27-25. An incredible comeback in rally scoring.
And that knocks it all up at 2-2, and they would go to a fifth set that would be a barn burner as well. And we are going to bring you that entire fifth set coming up next. You are watching the 2006 FIVB Volleyball World Championships on WCSN. Don't go anywhere. More volleyball coming your way. And welcome back to WCSN. That says it all. We are continuing coverage right now of Thursday night's coverage of Team USA versus Azerbaijan. And right now we're going to take a look at the fifth set, which begins right now. And Dean, this goes to 15, and eventually Team USA loses.
We're in the fifth set. As you mentioned, it only goes to 15, not 25. The first four sets are played to 25. Both teams have timeouts, 2 timeouts, and usually have a technical timeout at 8 and 16. In this fifth set, we have no technical timeout in just 1 timeout per team. So now you see Robin Amoy Santos back to serve. Can the United States continue the momentum as they showed just right there with the ace serve where they left off in the end of the fourth set? Here you see that nice float serve. It moves and the bottom just drops out of it.
And don't go anywhere. This is 16 minutes of uncut volleyball, set 5 action from the FIVB. And the amazing thing, Dane, about this, is after the way
Azerbaijan.
Thank you very much. I'm having a tough time saying it. The way they lost the fourth set, it was good play by USA, but it was also a choke job by them as well. Emotionally, how they could pick themselves back up after that to come back and win this is pretty fantastic.
It would be, miraculous if Azerbaijan could come back and win. That would show so much composure after letting a set go by that you had complete control over. 7-14, 21-14 lead, and then a 24-20 lead, and then you let that slip away. So difficult to imagine coming back, but that just shows how strong this team is and how much potential, and they will continue to climb the ranks. Azerbaijan 19th, only ranked 19th in the world, so much upside for this team.
Now they came back. How devastating of a loss was this to Team USA? And do you think that maybe they carried that into the Russian match that we just saw that they got blown out in?
Well, they carried that. It was somewhat demoralizing, to come back so strong and then you let the fifth set slip away. And then in the match we just saw, the United States versus Russia, the United States comes out so strong at the beginning, but Russia's just too much. They're too experienced. They're too strong. So the United States just ending up in such a difficult pool with the likes of Brazil, with Russia, with China. You have the top 3 teams in the Olympic Games in your pool. So it was an uphill battle from the start for Team USA.
And I would like to say that Team USA, it did not appear at all, came out flat against the Russians. They didn't come out sagging with their heads down. They came out firing. They played a pretty good first set, but Russia just continued to wear them down.
The U.S. always comes out strong no matter who they're playing, and they're capable of beating any team in the world. At the end of last year, they beat China, so they can beat the best. It's just a matter of consistency, getting a cohesive unit, and making sure they take care of business when the opportunities present themselves. They've shown signs of greatness, but at times, they just don't look that sharp, and they're not firing on all cylinders.
How much do you think Jenny Lang Ping needs to do right now to try to right the ship?
Well, she's working on a lot of different things. You got to understand, Jenny Lang Ping only in her second year as head coach for the U.S. national team. So her goal is to medal for the United States in 2008 in Beijing, China. That would be the ultimate goal, to bring home some kind of medal. You always want to bring home any kind of jewelry, because 4th place and down doesn't bring home anything. You want that gold, silver, or bronze. Of course, the gold is the ultimate prize.
How realistic do you think that is, that they can medal?
You know what? I believe it's a very strong possibility. We are so far out. We're almost 2 years out from the Olympic Games, a little bit less than that. So the United States, depending on their training habits, depending how much these players stay back and stay with Team USA, you got to understand all these players usually go and play overseas in private club teams. That's the way they make the majority of their living. So it's difficult to get that cohesive unit all collaborating together and working hard, whereas a lot of these other European teams are playing year-round together. They may go
like China.
Yeah, they may go play in their club teams, but the majority of their time is spent with the national team, and it shows. You saw how strong Russia was.
And right here as we continue with the action, Team USA up 5-3. This is the 5th set, and it's the first one to 15.
Such a great hitter on the outside. Every time you see Mamadova taking away, Gulieva putting up great sets all match long, and Mamadova, they're definitely go-to player each and every time, and the United States just could not find an answer to stop Mamadova.
The FIVB is a week-long tournament. Does fatigue begin to build up throughout the matches, later in the week?
No question about it. Don't forget, this tournament started back on Halloween, if you can imagine, October 31st. So we're almost 2 weeks in. And in this Pool F, we had matches on Wednesday night and on Thursday night this last week, then matches today, Saturday, and Sunday. And if you're lucky enough to advance to the semifinals, those will be played on the 15th and 16th. So when you have these back-to-back nights going on, fatigue can play a factor, and at the international level, you do not see a lot of substitutions being made. So those starting lineups are out there from start to finish. Hopefully, for the good teams, they take care of business, as you saw Russia do against the United States earlier, taking them 3 sets. So the Russian team has not lost a set the entire Pool F, which is a huge advantage for Russia. Not losing a set, whereas the United States here, you saw going to a 5th set, it's going to take a lot more out of the players.
And one team that I think is going to be pretty fresh, that doesn't have a very stable lineup, is Team China. When we saw them play Team USA, I think they subbed about every single point.
Team China does do a lot of substituting, that's for sure. It's hard to keep up with the head coach of the Chinese team, always switching it up. And what that does is it shows a different look. It's very hard for another team to match up every time because you just don't know who he's going to put in.
Right. Right, as Team USA here is tied up once again, 6-6. So this was just a heartbreaking defeat for Team USA. I mean, their last 2 days have just been not good, for lack of a better term. A heartbreaker and then a drubbing.
Not good at all for the United States. Of course, they might have believed that they had a shot against Russia as well as China. But I think for sure this United States team thought that Azerbaijan was a team that they could get a victory on. But Azerbaijan, having nothing to lose, comes out here, really challenges this U.S. team, and takes them to a 5th set. Something the United States, I don't believe, was expecting.
Azerbaijan. Yeah, I had to say it on principle. And it's 7-7 here in the 5th set from this Thursday night coverage that we have the pleasure of bringing you as Team USA takes a timeout. Don't forget, there's plenty more FIVB action coming your way, and you don't have to wait very long. In fact, WCSN has some for you tomorrow, and it should be a wonderful match as Team USA is going to be taking on Germany. Team USA 8-7, and at this point I thought for sure Team USA, everything was going their way. The miraculous comeback in the 4th set. They get the lead here 8-7. It looks like they had some of the momentum, but in the end it wasn't to be. And I was mentioning before, we do have coming up USA versus Germany Sunday. That's tomorrow, November 12th at 3 Pacific. And then don't forget, semifinals will have 2 matches. And, of course, WCSN will have the finals Thursday, November 16th, 2 matches. You can see that, all of those, 3 p.m. Pacific Coast time, 6 o'clock Eastern, as we continue the 5th set. Team USA up by a point.
Jenny Joins coming in now. You can't say enough about this set. If you're a volleyball fan, this is what you love to watch. Getting to a 5th set, seeing who can handle it, who can handle the pressure, and who can come out on top. You can see both these teams, Azerbaijan as well as the United States, just in a dogfight. It's just too bad that this is not like a final,
right?
That the crowd is packed and it's going crazy, because this is the kind of match you want to have in the finals of a tournament.
This is volleyball. This is what it's about. This is Game 7 of the World Series, and really rooting right now for Lang Ping to get everything straightened out on this, because this has to be hard not only on the players but on the head coach as well.
Very difficult. Of course, she expected to do better in round 1, finishing with a 4-1 record, and then coming into this second round, into Pool F, just so many teams stacked in front of her face, and it's just a very difficult road and almost a little bit discouraging, but she is a great coach. She's going to get this team back in the winner's circle, but this is the last major tournament of 2006, so you would have liked to go out on a little bit higher note.
Why did Pool F turn out to be such a brutal pool?
You know, it's just the way that the cards fell. A lot of the top teams ended up in Pool F.
Is that by coincidence? Do they draw?
Well, the way it works is there's 4 pools to start it off. There's Pool A, B, C, and D. The teams from Pool A and D get grouped together in Pool E. The teams from Pool B and C get grouped together here in Pool F. So you make 2 pools of 8 that are left, and only the top 2 teams in each pool will advance to the semifinal, which are going to take place on November 15th, as you mentioned, right here on WCSN, 6 o'clock Eastern and 3 o'clock Pacific. We're going to cover that. So in Pool F, it looks like it'll be Russia and Brazil, but in Pool E, it is a dogfight over there. Serbia and Montenegro and Italy tied atop that pool, and right in second place in a tie at 4-2, it's Cuba and Japan.
Simple enough, well stated. And right now, we go back to the action as we take a look. Team USA up 10-9, just 5 points away from winning this match. And in the end, they just couldn't do it, and Hanif has the serve, 10-9.
It's just amazing to me that Azerbaijan is able to come back here, recompose themselves after the devastating loss in the 4th set, and just start turning it on. You're seeing great volleyball here, the ball passing across the net 6, 7, 8 times in a rally. That's a spectacular rally. Now you see it's 10-all here.
And Randy Durgis alongside Dayton Blanton. Love to be with you here as we recap Azerbaijan versus Team USA. This is from Thursday night. And once again, you are watching WCSN, home of champions. Tied up, 10-10. And the second time you see this, you realize what a train wreck this ended up being. I mean, it's harder to watch the second time.
It really is very difficult to watch. Mamadova just having a field day from start to finish in this match. Back and forth. The United States has no answers for her. As you see there in the replay, just thundering the ball. So you see the dogfight. It's so tough to see the United States drop this after showing such strong character and coming back in the 4th set. But you got to give a lot of credit to Azerbaijan. They've played so well. They're not expected to do that well. They came out of their pool with a 2-3 record, so not a great first round for them, but they somehow managed to get to the second round, and then to take down a powerhouse such as the United States is a huge accomplishment for Azerbaijan.
And they were ranked 19th, or are ranked 19th in the world, so they're not top 10 right now. So this was a major upset. And I just like their heart, to be quite honest. I mean, losing that heartbreaker of a 4th set, letting them come back, falling apart completely, and then to re-rally and come back and to be able to win, like you said, you got to give them a lot of credit.
And it will give their program so much confidence, this victory. Sure, they're not going to advance out of their pool into the semifinals, but they have an opportunity to finish well in this tournament. If they finish somewhere between 5th and 9th place, that would be a huge accomplishment for Azerbaijan. So winning this match here, as you can see in this 5th set, with the United States just trailing Azerbaijan 11-12, it gets very interesting here, but Azerbaijan has the character to come back and recover.
And after the 4th set, it didn't look like they had that character. You could see it on their face that they knew they were close to closing out number 6 in the world in Team USA, and they completely collapsed. And it's amazing confidence-wise how different they appeared here in this 5th set.
You can see it on their faces, as you said. The body language was just really down, everyone looking at the floor at the end of that 4th set, and now you see players like Libero court, tenyo with a smile, with that intense look. We can do this. We know we can do it. We're right where we need to be, and this would be huge for our program. They all know how important it is to take down the United States, no matter where the United States is ranked.
Azerbaijan 13-12 right now. This match all tied at 2 sets apiece. And now they can smell it, 14-12, that they are maybe about to close it out.
Huge block there by Korkmaz. It sends Azerbaijan to match point at 14-12. You see Coach Guyev yelling at his players, making sure they close this one out. They don't want to let it go like they did in the last set. Not quite yet, the United States says. Once again, they're down only one, so they score when they need to. Azerbaijan will have their second match point here.
And this is the point after this match is where you take all the sharp objects away from the players. You don't want them doing anything to themselves. And look at the excitement here. That is number 19 knocking off number 6 in the world. It was a tremendous upset. Too bad for Team USA, but Azerbaijan, what an effort and what a comeback.
An unbelievable effort and an unbelievable comeback, especially after losing and letting set number 4 slip away. You can see how much this means. You can see the look on the face of Mamadova. You know that she's just worked hard all night long, and you can't ask for anything more. A 15-13 win for Azerbaijan over the United States here in the 5th set. As we mentioned earlier, this was Thursday night's second round of Pool F. The United States dropped that. Today, earlier, we showed you Russia and the United States. Russia putting on somewhat of a clinic for the United States. And now, the United States, possibly, if they can get a win versus Germany tomorrow, they will have an opportunity to get between 9th and 12th place. If they lose that, they're out of the tournament.
And what an action we have seen. What great volleyball action here on only WCSN. For Dane Blanton, I'm Randy Durgis. Coming to